And with the quote, we create kind humans who speak kindness, show kindness. Be a kind human. Be a kind human. Hello. I had to do a mic check real quick. Make sure my mic was working. Hello and welcome to What the Quote. I'm Tawana. I'm going to be your hostess extraordinaire for our time together. And I want to welcome you to What the Quote. What the Quote is near and dear to my heart because I love quotes. If you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I love two things: kind humans and small humans. And that is because small humans are, oh my gosh, they are honest, they're funny, they do not have a filter. And I just think that they are us at our very best. So you'll see a lot of videos of small humans that I believe are doing great and wonderful things. And you will also see a plethora of quotes because I love quotes. I love that what they inspire. I love that they transform. I just love everything about quotes. So this podcast is going to be just about that. How we can use these quotes to be kinder to ourselves and to be kinder to other humans. So that is the intention behind this podcast today and every day. We're going to be recording once a week. The first few episodes, it's just going to be you and me. We're going to be chatting and getting to know each other. Um, just so I can share with you some of my favorite quotes, how I've used them to get me through some of the most difficult times of my life, and also make me laugh and encourage me exactly when I needed to be encouraged. So let's talk a little bit about what you're going to find in each episode. So eventually, after we've spent some episodes together, I'm going to be interviewing other kind humans who have a favorite quote that they would like to share with you. Um, and at the beginning of every episode, after the theme song that was created especially for this. How did you like the theme song, by the way? Um, Hopefully you liked it. I had a great time recording it, finding the music for it, and then having it uploaded. I just wanted it to be, I wanted this podcast to look like me. And I love quotes. I love to sing. I have often referred to myself as one of the Pips. I'm not Gladys. I don't have a voice like Gladys, but I can spin and do a few words in the background. So I just wanted to do a fun song that really talked about what my intention was and what a kind human is. So that's where the song comes from. Also, because I absolutely love music and love to dance. I wanted us to spend some time dancing at every episode. So we're also going to do that. I'm going to play that song in just a second. And so get your dance moves ready. I don't know if you're going to do the electric slide or my niece makes fun of me because, you know, when I do the whoa, she always says, TT, you do it too hard. But I don't know what your famous dance move is, but we're going to do that for about 30 seconds at each episode. As I said before, I'm also eventually going to be interviewing other kind humans and just asking them about their favorite quote, why they like it, who said it, and also how they have used it. And then because, excuse me, my eyes are watering a bit. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see me patting my eye. And because I am a life coach, at the end of every episode, I'm gonna give some nudges are some tidbits, some strokes, that you can use to create the masterpiece of a life that you like to create. And so that's going to be at the end. You'll have some takeaways that you can use every week so that you can be kinder to yourself or to other humans. So that is the gist of the podcast and what you can expect every month. But I really wanted to spend some time at the beginning on this first episode just talking about me, my quotes, and how this podcast came to be. So you'll notice in the words of the song, the intro and the exit song, it talks about what a kind human is. A kind human speaks kindness, shows kindness, and stimulates kindness in others. So that's the intention around my use of being kind. And one of the things that I wanted to highlight is the fact I think that sometimes, in most cases, when we talk about being kind, or when I talk about being kind, a lot of times I talk about being kind to other people, which is a part of being kind. It is. So, the golden rule is treat others the way you want to be treated. Hey, that's a quote. I don't know, maybe for another episode. But so being kind to others is important. It is. And, it's I remember my mom really brought home the fact that you say please and thank you and hello when you come into the room. And so those are some small incremental ways that you can be kind to others. Um, you know, when we go to restaurants or bars, we want to thank our server. And, I try to remember their name and say thank you and tip nicely. All of those things are about being kind to others. But another aspect of being kind, I think that sometimes we forget about is being kind to ourselves. And, there are times where some of the things that I think about myself and my ability, it's not very kind because I sometimes look at the shoulda, woulda, couldas of my life and my choices instead of leaning more to gratitude and love and grace. And so you'll probably hear me talk about giving yourself some grace, because that's one of the things that I am focused on right now, is just giving myself some grace, not being so hard on myself, and realizing that I, along with the other kind humans on this planet, are all doing the best that we can. We're all doing the best we can. And sometimes that turns out to be really great. Sometimes we need more practice being kind, especially being kind to ourselves. And so for me, that is one of the reasons why I was very intentional in being specific, that especially as I start to interview humans about what their favorite quote is, one of the things that I want to bring out is, how are you using this quote to be kind to yourself and to other people? Because it's twofold, in my opinion. And so, so we're really, really going to be diving into that, and how you are using this quote, or how can you use it to be kinder to yourself and to other humans. So let's talk about why quotes. I talked a little bit about how quotes really, really have been a huge part of my life. I've recently found this binder that I had created, and it was from 2004, of just all of these positive news articles and magazine articles and quotes and sayings from other people, because I really, really believe that it's so important to find things that will lift you up and honor the place that you desire to go. And so one of the reasons why I wanted this podcast to be about quotes is because I have used them in my own personal life to inspire, uplift, and transform me. And what I mean by that is I am sure that I will talk a lot about living outside of your comfort zone. Now, it is not a fun process. It does not feel good. And everything in your body, mind, and thoughts will try to persuade you, don't do it. Don't do it. Stay right here where we're comfortable and safe, and everything feels good. But I would really, really push you to really do what it takes to step out of your comfort zone, because that's where I say that's where all the magic is. There's not very much magic in doing the same thing today that you did yesterday. Not very magical. And so that's one of the ways that I've used quotes, is really, really helping me think and then step out of this comfort zone. And it could be in small or great ways. It could be maybe the next podcast, I'll wear some red lipstick instead of purple. Or, taking a new route to work, trying tea instead of coffee in the morning. It doesn't have, you don't have to leave a job and move to Timbuktu. You could, but it's really about doing different things to kind of help reprogram your brain in that way. So I have also found that quotes uplift me after a heartbreak or a tragedy. And what I mean by that is it could have been a divorce, it could have been a death in the family. And I have used quotes to just really come alongside me and comfort me during those times, to help my mind focus on the positive instead of the negative, really to help me to shift out of where I am into where I want to be or desire to be. And so those, that is also something that quotes have given me, along with quotes have also helped me to transform. And what I mean by that is to help me to make a different choice. So I have found that in my own life, the way that I have grown the most is to make a different choice. It could have been to go back to school, to get a coach, I'll be getting a Tesla in 2020 to drive something new. To start a business, you name it. It could be a whole host of things that can help you make a new choice. So those are a lot of the ways that I have used quotes to get me from where I am to where I desire to be. So I know you have been thinking about what dance you were going to do. And so before I get started with the quote for today, we are going to take about 30 seconds to dance. And I picked dancing because I love to do it, but it also reduces stress, helps get your heart rate up. And so there are a lot of great things that you can have as it results to dancing. So here we go, 30 seconds. I'll dance. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Okay. So, we've danced. I've given you a little intro about me and the podcast. So let's talk about the first quote on What the Quote. So I have said this a lot of times in a lot of different ways. But as I was preparing for this episode, I really wanted to get um, my due diligence in and um, really get who exactly said the quote. So the quote is, "No one is coming to save you. You need to save yourself." So just think about that for a second. No one, no one, nobody, zero, zero bodies are coming to save you. You need to save yourself. Seth Godin said that. And so Seth Godin actually describes himself as a teacher who does projects. But that name probably sounds familiar because he wrote The Power of Habit, which is a phenomenal read about habits. So on this podcast, we love books too. So that is one of the books that if you're increasing your book library, The Power of Habit by Seth Godin is certainly one that I would love, love, love for you to grab. He also wrote This is Marketing and The Purple Cow. Have a great titles. So why did I pick this quote as the first quote for What the Quote? I picked it because I heard this quote at a time in my life where I was going through a divorce. And, sometimes when you go through a divorce, you think that it's about the other person. You think that the other person is really jacked up. You think that, it's all about the jacked up decisions and choices of the other person. However, this quote helped me to realize that I needed to get my own stuff together. I need to stay in my own lane and mind my own business. That's what this quote reminded me to do, is to mind my own business and get myself together. And so what that looked like for me, number one, is to stop blaming. Because, as long as my finger is pointed out here, I have 3 fingers pointed back at me. And so 3 is greater than 1. And so I don't care what it is, if it's a job, if it's your boss, if it's your kids, if it's your significant other, if it's somebody in traffic, whatever it is, this is really about you looking at how you are showing up. Because when you look at your life and where you are, it really has very little to do with your significant other, your boss, your teachers. None of that matters because you are responsible for saving yourself. And what that could look like or mean is that if you don't get into school, say you are trying to get into a program or a school that you desire, and you don't get in, you could blame the fact that the test was too hard, this, that, or the other. It was the teacher. You didn't have enough time to study because you had to go to work, or, someone in your family, all of that, all the excuses. That's fine. But now what are you going to do? Because you didn't get into the school. You got divorced. You didn't get the job. Okay. So you can continue to blame other people outside yourself, or you can come up with another game plan. And for me, sometimes my life went in a direction that was not planned, but it was definitely the place that I needed to go. And when in those times when I have been very resistant to change, or when I've been in blame, I could not see the goodness. I could not be in gratitude because I was looking at the situation other in every other way than what it was. And this quote, "No one is coming to save you, you need to save yourself," really puts the responsibility on you, no matter where you are in life, no matter what you have experienced, how you grew up, how your mama treated you, your daddy left, he wasn't there. Miss Walton, I love Miss Walton from school number 1 in Indianapolis. I loved her. But, none of that. I have to use those things to uplift me and motivate me to make a different choice or decision. And I love the end of the quote where it talks about you need to save yourself, because if you are sitting around waiting for someone to swoop in off of a horse, or I don't know, a white horse, or some savior, some person that's going to swoop in and, make your life better. Because we trying to do that for ourselves. And so, we are choosing ourselves. And so because we are minding our own business and we want things to be better for us, we're not concerned about you right now. Because we are realizing ourselves that nobody's coming to save us. That we are responsible for saving ourselves. And so if you are waiting for anything, if you're waiting for some money, a husband, a wife, a new job, whatever it is, if you're waiting, that might not turn out the way you expect it to, because everybody is trying to create the life that they want to live, that they desire to live. And so I would invite you to think about what it's going to take for you to get up, dust yourself off, and really think about the things that you can do and the choices that you can make so that you can be your own hero or shero. Because you can do this for yourself in your own way, in your own time, in the way that is going to honor you. So how are you going to be your own he or shero? So I think now we're at a good point to go to the coaching corner. I wish I had a hat or something that I could. I'm going to have to find something so I can put on my coaching hat since we're going to the coaching corner. And so one of the things that I wanted to bring out in this coaching corner segment is, how are you going to stop blaming and start claiming? Because blaming other people for the situation that you find yourself in, it's really not going to do anything to save you. It's really not. You're going to keep playing it over, that same story. Oh, they shoulda, woulda, coulda. Oh, they shoulda, woulda, coulda. And that's not inspiring you to move and make choices that are going to get you to where you desire to be. just like that whole thing, name it and claim it. But I would really invite. So, what are some things? So, I like numbers. So, what are 3 things that you have been blaming someone for in your past? Have you been blaming your job loss? Have you been blaming your boss because they fired you? Have you been blaming that person who broke up with you 3 years and 7 months and 22 days ago, who you don't know why? Are you blaming your brother or sister because they pushed you down when you was 3? What is it, or who is it that you're blaming? And then, so write down at least 3 of those. And then we're going to shift to what is it how would you like that to look? So let's say one of the things that you've been blaming is your current boss for not giving you the promotion. Let's try that. Let's start with that. And so one shift that you could make is claiming that you're going to get a new job, a job that you love, a job that you feel empowered in, and just thinking and writing down how that feels. And if you are watching on YouTube, you'll notice that my eyes are closed because I'm thinking and feeling and imagining how that is going to feel when I get a new job and I can put in my 2-week notice, or I move in jobs where I am to a corner office and I'm able to empower the people who are under me. What's that going to feel like? So we want to move from blaming your boss to claiming what it is that you really desire to experience. And you can do that for 3 areas in your life. It can be finances, it can be relationships, whatever it is. So you want to think about who and how you've been blaming other people. And then you want to shift to write down, what is it that you desire? How would you like that situation to be? So for me, it would be to be driving a Tesla. I'm just saying, I'll just throw that in there. But so that's your homework for today. And please tag me on Instagram, Tajuana Hill, TajuanaHill, and let me know how that's going. Give me a graphic or video of, how you're changing and claiming the things that you have been blaming in your past. I would love, love, love to interact with you and get to know you better. And so, wow, that is it for our first episode of What the Quote. Thank you so, so much for joining me. Thank you, Seth Godin, for the quote, "No one is coming. You need to save yourself." If you have not read The Power of Habit, great book. And please follow me on Instagram, if you like, at Tajuana Hill. I would love to chit chat at you. And until the next episode, we're going to end with the fabulous theme song for today. And with the quote, we create kind humans who speak kindness, show kindness. Be a kind human. Be a kind human.